First sip of coffee is always the most important sip to just drink and savor. It's good. I'm going to fill this a little bit more before we get started. Here we go. Full cup. You may remember from yesterday that we have started the book of Numbers. And we finished Leviticus. Yay! And now we're in the book of Numbers. Today is Numbers chapter 2 and 3. And the census is happening. So there's going to be lots of numbers, lots of big names. This is a year after they left Egypt. So they're in the wilderness. God's taking account of all the people that are out there, using the leaders of each of the 12 tribes of Israel and organizing the camp. So let's read it. Numbers chapter 2. Then the Lord gave these instructions to Moses and to Aaron. When the Israelites set up camp, each tribe will be assigned its own area. The tribes' divisions will camp beneath their family's banner on all four sides of the tabernacle, but at the same distance from it. The divisions of Judah, Issachar, Zebulun are to camp towards the sunrise on the east side of the tabernacle, beneath the family banner. Good morning. We are in Numbers chapter 3 in our 1-year Bible. Beneath the family banners, these are the names of the tribes and their leaders and the numbers of registered troops. So these are able-bodied men between the age of 20 and I think it was 55. Judah, the leader was Neshanah, and there were 74,600 of them. Issachar, Nathaniel, there were 45,400 of them. Zebulun, son of Eliab, son of Haran, 47,400. So the total of the troops of Judah's side of the camp was 186,400 men. These three tribes are to lead the way whenever the Israelites travel to a new campsite. These three tribes were in the front of the pack. The division of Reuben, Simeon, and Gad are to camp on the south side of the tabernacle beneath their family banners. These are the names of the tribes and the leaders and the number of their troops, so able-bodied men. Reuben, the leader was Elizur, and there were 46,500 of them. Simeon, the leader was Shelumiel. There were 59,300 of them. Gad, the leader was Elisaph, son of Duel. The number was 45,650 of them. So the total of all the troops on the Reuben side of the camp was 151,450. These three tribes will be the second line of defense when the Israelites are traveling. When the tabernacle carried by the Levites will set out in the middle of the camp, all the tribes are to travel in the same order that they camp, each in position under its banners. The divisions of Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin are to camp on the west side of the camp of the tabernacle, beneath their families' banners. These are the names of the tribes and their leaders and the numbers of registered troops. So again, these are just the able-bodied men between 20 and 55. Ephraim, the leader was Elishama, 40,500. Manasseh, the leader was Gamaliel, 32,200. Benjamin, the leader was Abidan, 35,400. So the total of all the troops of the Ephraim side of the camp, the west side, was 108,100 troops. These three tribes will be third in line whenever the Israelites travel. The divisions of Dan, Asher, and Naphtali, these are the last three, were on the camp on the north side of the tabernacle beneath their families' banners. These are the names of the tribes and their leaders and the numbers of their troops. The tribe of Dan, the leader was Ahiezer, and there were 62,700 of them. Asher was Pagel, the number was 41,500. Naphtali was Ahari, 53,400. So the total of all the troops of Dan's side of the camp was 157,600. These three tribes will be the last, marching under the banner, so they're going to protect the back of the tabernacle whenever they're traveling. So the total troops of Dan side, I already said that. In summary, the troops of Israel listed by their families totaled 603,550, and this is just men. But as the Lord had commanded, the Levites were not included in the registration. So the people of Israel did everything as the Lord had commanded Moses. Each clan and family set up camp and marched under their families' banners exactly as the Lord had instructed them. I love when they obey God, don't you? Chapter 3. These are the family lines of Aaron and Moses as it was recorded when the Lord spoke to Moses at Mount Sinai. The names of Aaron's sons. So now we're talking about Levites because we're talking about Aaron. Were Nadab, the oldest, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. The sons of Aaron were anointed and ordained to minister as priests. But Nadab and Abihu, if you remember, died in the Lord's presence in the wilderness of Sinai when they burned before the Lord the wrong kind of fire, different than he had commanded, since they had no sons. This left only Eleazar and Ithamar to serve as priests with their father Aaron. So he had 4 sons, but 2 of them died, and now he has 2 more. Then the Lord said to Moses, call forward the tribe of Levi, the Levites, and present them to Aaron, the priest, to serve as his assistants. They will serve Aaron and the whole community, performing these sacred duties in and around the tabernacle. They will also maintain all the furnishings and the sacred tent, serving in the tabernacle on behalf of all of Israel. Assign the Levites to Aaron and his sons. They will have been given from among all the people of Israel to serve as their assistants. Appoint Aaron and his sons to carry out the duties of priesthood, but any unauthorized person who goes too near to the sanctuary will be put to death. That's a strong warning. The Lord said to Moses, look, I have chosen the Levites from among Israel to serve as substitutes for all the firstborn sons of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me. for all the firstborn males are mine. On the day I struck down all the firstborn sons of Egypt, both the people and the animals, they are mine. I am the Lord. He's saying, instead of the firstborn of every family in Israel being my priests, I have made it that the firstborn, that all of the Levites are my priests, rather than one son from every family forever. The Lord spoke again to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai. He said, record the names of the members of the tribe of Levi by their family and clan. List every male who is 1 month old or older. So Moses listed them just as the Lord commanded. Levi had 3 sons whose names were Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The clans descended from Gershon were named after 2 of his descendants, Libni and Shimei. The clan descendants from Kohath were named after 4 of his descendants, Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The clan's descendants from Merari were named after 2 of his descendants, Mahali and Mushi, I don't know. These were the Levite clans listed according to their family groups. The descendants of Gershon were composed of the clan's descendants from Libni and Shimei. There were 7,500 males 1 month old or older among the Gershonite clan. They were assigned to the area to the west of the tabernacle for their camp. The leader of the Gershonite clan was Elisaph, son of Lael. These 2 clans were responsible for the care of the tabernacle, including the sacred tent with its layers of coverings, curtains in the entrance, the curtains to the courtyard and the surrounding tabernacle, the altar, the curtains of the courtyard, the ropes, and all the equipment. This is important because they had to take down the tabernacle tent every time they moved in the wilderness, which they ended up doing for 40 years. And then they had to put it back together perfectly. And these people knew how to do it. They knew exactly how to take it down, put it back together correctly, because they were nomadic for 40 years. The leaders of the Gershonite clan was Elisaph. The 2 clans were, already read that. The descendants of Kohath were composed of the clan descendants of Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. There were 8,600 males 1 month old or older among these Kohathite clans. Good morning. In the tabernacle was, well, there are lots of things in the tabernacle, but the main thing was the atonement throne, which had the 10 Commandments in it and some manna. And once it was cleansed, the Lord came in his presence, came in like a cloud. There were also candles. There was a table for sacrifices. There was a table for bread that was being offered to the Lord. There were incense candles. So imagine a beautiful cathedral, but in a very, very tiny form. And it was, in essence, like a movable church, for lack of a better, movable temple, for lack of a better word. The Ark of the Covenant, exactly. Okay, where were we? These 4 clans were responsible for the care of the Ark. just like you were saying. The table, the lampstands, the altars, the various articles used in the sanctuary, the inner curtain, all the equipment. Eleazar and son of Aaron, the priests, with the chief administrators over all the Levites, with special responsibility and oversight of the sanctuary. The descendants of Merari were composed of the clan descendants of Mali and Mushi. These were 6,200 males, 1 year old or older, of the Merarite clan. They were assigned the area north of the tabernacle for their camp. The leaders of the Merarite clans were Zuriel. These two clans were responsible for the care of the frames supporting the tabernacle, the crossbars, the pillars. I'm sure all of that was really heavy. The base and all the equipment related to the structure. They were also responsible for the posts in the courtyard and all their bases, pegs, and ropes. The area in front of the tabernacle was reversed east towards the sunshine, was reversed for the tents of Moses and Aaron and his sons, who had the final responsibility for the sanctuary on behalf of the people of Israel. Anyone other than a priest or Levite who went too near to the sanctuary was put to death. Then Moses and Aaron counted the Levite clans at the Lord's command, and the number was 22,000 males, 1 year old or older. So if that's just males, then the Levites were probably around 50,000, which makes it seem a little bit easier to put up the tent and take it down all the time if there were that many of them and not just like 20. Okay, this is the last section. The Lord said to Moses, "Now count all the firstborn sons in Israel who are 1 year old or older, and make a list of their names. The Levites must be reserved for me as a substitute for the firstborn sons of Israel. I am the Lord. The Levite livestock must be reserved for me as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the whole nation of Israel." I totally agree with you. Half of this, I'm like, okay, I don't get it at all. But yes, it definitely had to be there kind of thing. So Moses counted the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, just as the Lord had commanded. The number of firstborn sons of Israel who were 1 month old or older was 22,273. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn sons of the people of Israel, and take the livestock of the Levites as substitutes for the firstborn livestock of the people of Israel. The Levites belong to me. I am the Lord. There are 273 more firstborn sons of Israel than there are Levites. To redeem this extra firstborn sons, collect 5 pieces of silver from each of them, each piece weighing the same as the sanctuary shekel, which equals 20 gerahs. Give the silver to Aaron and his sons as a redemption price for the extra sons." Did that make sense to everybody? So Moses collected the silver for the redeeming of the firstborn sons of the Israelites who exceeded the number of Levites. He collected 1,365 pieces of silver on behalf of the firstborn sons of Israel, each piece weighing the same as a sanctuary shekel. Moses gave the silver as the redemption price to Aaron and his sons, just as the Lord commanded. So, summary of that part. There were 273 more firstborn sons of all of Israel than there were the population of Levites. So there was a redemption price for the difference of 1,365 pieces of silver so that they would equal each other. hope that made sense. Okay, tomorrow we're going to read Numbers chapter 4 and 5. Looks like we're going to learn about the different duties that the Lord gave to each clan, and rules on purity and faithfulness in marriage. I like that. That sounds good. So let's pray and ask the Lord that whatever maybe was to grow us, to make us think, to fill our minds today, that He will amplify it from these words. Lord, thank you for your words. And I say this every day. Just because we don't totally understand the Old Testament doesn't mean it's not useful for our lives. Your word is alive and active. Your word changes our lives and our hearts. Lord, what do you want us to know, hear, see, and understand from what we read today? What I value is their redemption price. God, you have a price. And the Levites' whole lives basically were the redemption price. They were born into their story of God. As soon as they were born, their future was decided, that they would be the keepers of your tabernacle, the priests of the people, whether they wanted to or not. They were the redemption price for everyone else. Lord, and Jesus was the redemption price for everyone else, the final high priest for everyone else. And when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he cried out to you and he said, if you can take this cup from me, please do it. Because he was fully God, but he was also fully man. And then he said, but not my will, but yours. He was born already in his plan to be that high priest, to be that Levite for us, so that we can have relationship with God. Thank you for Jesus. Thank you for a great high priest. Thank you that you didn't let his humanity outshine his divinity, and that you continued, no matter what, to the cross to die for the sins of the people and be raised back to life. Amen. I'm very thankful for Jesus. I'll see you tomorrow.